what is your opinion on the current situation in the UK or Western Europe or North America with regard to immigration? Do you think it's gone out of control? Do you think we need to do more about it? Do you think we need to be able to discuss it freely? I would say that the latter is at the heart of a lot of the unrest right now, that people are feeling like they can't even air their views on this subject without being attacked. We in Britain, we Chinese have seemingly a good reputation among Brits for assimilating, and I feel I have to acknowledge that we do have an advantage as Hong Kongers. I'm not saying all Chinese, not like the Chinese who come from the mainland Chinese, who a lot of them haven't really seen much of the world. But Hong Kongers, you know, we were colonized a long time ago, and our education system in Hong Kong has been very heavily influenced by Britain, and so most Hong Kongers can speak fluent English. Well, I say most. The working class less so, but the middle class, most middle class Hong Kongers have gone to schools where they're taught English, and we understand English culture or British culture because Hong Kong is such a melting pot of Western and Chinese culture. So for us to come here to the UK and assimilate is so easy. We're already half English. Do you know what I mean? Any Hong Kongers out there listening to this can relate, right? It's not that weird coming to the UK for us because there is so much British or American as well, just Western culture in Hong Kong. I mean, you walk around central Hong Kong, you could think you're in New York. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so, I mean, that's one of the things I love about when I'm in Hong Kong. I spend most of my time not in Hong Kong Island, which is like Manhattan, but in Kowloon, because Kowloon is where you get the real flavor of Hong Kong. But there's a funny sort of snobbery among Hong Kongers. When you're in Hong Kong, a lot of Hong Kongers have this kind of attitude that, oh, I have no reason to go to Kowloon, and they just spend all their time in Hong Kong Island. I think that's really sad. Those people, I suppose, some would argue that those are like the most colonized people of Hong Kong, the ones that think that central Hong Kong is somehow superior to Kowloon because it's more westernized. But I'm not gonna enter that debate. What do you think? Any Hong Kongers listening to this? Do you know what I'm talking about? There's this almost like a snobbery between Hong Kong Island and Kowloon. I think perhaps in recent years that's kind of coming down a bit because Kowloon has really come a long way over the last couple of decades, and so much investment has been poured into Kowloon, and it's actually starting to more and more resemble the island, Hong Kong Island, where Central is located, for those of you who don't know Hong Kong. But here I've totally digressed again from what I was trying to say. Yes, we have an easier time assimilating because there's hardly any assimilation to do. And there's Chinese restaurants everywhere. And, you know, in terms of food, it's easy for us to get the foods that we're used to. And in terms of language, we all speak the language. So there's no real need for the Chinese, for the Cantonese, you know, Hong Kong Cantonese people to huddle together. But if you think about the situation of other migrants who've come here under different circumstances, you know, people who've come here to seek asylum, it's a lot harder for them to integrate or assimilate. A lot of them don't speak the language because they were never taught it in their home country. They didn't come here in a way that was planned. Well, I mean, that's arguable because that's a whole other debate, but I'm not going to enter that right now. But for a lot of people who've come here under different circumstances, less fortunate circumstances, it's very natural for them to feel a need to sort of huddle among their own people for community, because this place is so foreign to them, and a lot of the time they don't speak the language, they don't know anything about this culture. And one of the things that sort of complicates this whole situation is that they tend to get housed all together, clustered in certain towns, cities, where they can be exclusively among their own kind. And we now have in the UK a rising tide of resentment among predominantly the right, who feel that their towns and cities are being taken over. Because we should all be able to understand that for some people it's very unsettling to see that the communities that they grew up in, that they've lived in for generations, are changing so rapidly. People are generally not good at change, especially when it happens within the space of a decade. Because one thing that we've observed in most Western European countries and America, Canada, USA as well, is the opening of borders and the flooding of undocumented illegals into our country. And this is something that we can so easily conflate with legal immigrants, who come into the country through the formal processes. And I think that's where a lot of the anti-immigrant sentiment gets really blurry, and also the anti-right sentiment among the left, who think that conservatives are just opposed to immigration full stop, because they're not. I would say that most conservatives have no issue with immigration. But a lot of conservatives, including immigrants themselves, who came here through the correct legal process, resent the fact that there are so many people coming in and using up so much of our hard-earned tax money that people who are British citizens do not have access to. It's the sort of what they perceive as an inequality. So what do you think? What is your opinion on the current situation in the UK or Western Europe or North America with regard to immigration? Do you think it's gone out of control? Do you think we need to do more about it? Do you think we need to be able to discuss it freely? I would say that the latter is at the heart of a lot of the unrest right now, that people are feeling like they can't even air their views on this subject without being attacked. Because surely we should be able to discuss any aspect of our country and our economy and where our tax money is going. Surely it's every citizen's right to have a say in this and to question things that are happening. I think that a lot of the people today who are being labeled as far right for raising their justifiable concerns about what they're witnessing, I think a lot of these people are being pushed further and further to the right by the way they're being vilified for their concerns. What do you think? Let me know in the comments And as ever, do give this video a like if you enjoyed it. And if you didn't enjoy it, let me know why you didn't. I'm always open to your opinions. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel. Because according to my stats, over 80% of you watching my videos haven't subscribed. And it really does make a huge difference to my performance as a new content creator trying to make my way in this world. So thank you for your time and hope you have a great day or evening. Till next time.